Dear students, welcome to this orientation session for the FR exam. It's a very crucial and very important exam in this overall ACCA qualification. Okay. Why I say this is that when you go in a workplace, the first thing that you will be required to do, the first matter that you're going to deal with in the workplace are going to be the things that you're going to study while doing this exam, the FR exam, the financial reporting. Okay, because you see all the organizations are concerned with one way or the other dealing with the financials of an organization. So the stuff that you're going to learn here is going to be critical for your success in your careers. So that's why this paper is of critical importance. Okay. Secondly, I want to emphasize two to three things that nowadays you see the AI is there and it is making progress every minute. Okay, like something new is always coming up. So the impact of this is that the examiner has started testing the conceptual aspects. Okay, so they really are not focused a lot on numbers. They are focused on testing the understanding, the concepts of students. Okay, so you must work on your writing skills. Okay, and you must try to understand concepts instead of number crunching. You see, numbers are fine, you have to be good at numbers, but at the same time I must say that a lot of percentage of exam will be written bits. A lot of numerical concepts will be tested in a way that you will be required to apply your understanding. Okay, so this is very critical. This is one aspect. The second aspect is that most of you are professionals. Okay, most of you I know are not full-time students. So what happens is you try to do selective study, you try to do selective learning, which I would strongly stop you from doing, because you see the format of the exam is such that you will be tested thoroughly. Okay, so if you're thinking of following such an approach, so you should better think again. Okay, so you should not be overlooking any area. You should be trying to understand each and everything. The best part is that while studying through videos, it becomes very fast. Okay, so it does not mean that if you want to study everything in detail, you have to go through a lot of books and a lot of readings. Okay, this is not the case. You should not be going through a lot of books. I strongly recommend that you focus on the lecture videos that we are going to provide you. Our lecture videos are comprehensive. Okay, so they will give you the insights to every topic in a very short time, and you will be ready to do question practice. Okay, I see a lot of students looking at the books, sharing stuff from the books, so they are actually spending a lot of their time studying the books. But instead of doing that, if they focus on the lecture videos, they will see that they're making great progress. Okay, so this is a very effective way of learning. I can share my own experience. Like I did my ACCA back in 2006, and I improved my qualification. I did my CIMA back in 2012. So when I did my CIMA, when I was just planning to start my CIMA, so what happens is that I saw the books because I had to buy all the books, and I had all the books with me. And when I looked at them, it was like I got those, the exam fears coming back to me. So I thought that I cannot again study. I cannot study the books again because I was working, I was teaching. So luckily, a friend advised me to use the video lectures, because back then the video lectures had started to come. Okay, but they were not like the way that you are getting. I found them and I paid for them. They were quite expensive back then, but I studied, and for the first time, I felt confident in my study, because when you're learning from the book, you really do not get the reinforcement. Okay, And another thing that I got, which is another secret that I would like to tell you right here, is that I always, when I did my ACCA, I always did, a question, and I moved on to the next question and the next question, and I never got confident in one specific area, one specific question. So when I was doing my SEMA, I was watching those lecture videos. The tutor was doing a question, and I was following the tutor. And just out of nowhere, I got this idea. Let's do this question again. Like whatever I've done with the tutor, let's do this question again myself. I did it again myself, and I felt like I am understanding concepts. And I enjoyed it so much that I wanted to do it again. And I did it third time on my own. And I must tell you that I was literally cruising through the question, and I was understanding each and every aspect. I actually remembered all the numbers. So uh, I got so confident. I was so happy that I felt confident in my studies. And then I kept on doing this approach. And when I was in the exam, I felt so confident. Okay. So you will be encountering a lot of difficult concepts. The best way to conquer them is to do them twice, do them thrice. At times, you might find certain things which might take more time. You might have to do a concept four times. But I tell you, you will get the confidence, and that is the most important thing. Okay? Because when you're confident in your studies, you really enjoy your studies. Okay? And time flows. You're not expected to do a lot of questions, but whatever you do it in a way that it is quality, it stays in your head, and you try to learn the best way of doing it. Okay. And this is what we do at Vertex when we are doing a question. The tutor explains each and every concept as if the examiner is telling. We would advise you how to approach this working to do it in the minimum time. Okay. So these are a few of my personal experiences that I wanted to share with you. Okay. So I hope enough about my experiences and importance of uh, this whole exam. Okay, I've got some questions. I'm just looking at them right now. Yes. The slides will be available to you. We're going to upload the video and the slides on the site, and we are going to upload them on YouTube as well. Okay, so you can have access to everything. Okay, so I believe that's about it. So we are going to start looking at the slides. I've got a lot of material for you, which is going to be beneficial for you. So let's see. I have prepared the slides. I have shared those with you. Let's see. So we will do all the discussion. Okay. So looking at the slides, we are approaching the March 2026 sitting, and this is the orientation focused on that. And some brief points about myself. I am going to be your tutor. I'm going to be conducting the live sessions, and I'm going to provide you with the WhatsApp support. I'm going to be marking your assignments because we have specific assignments prepared for you people so that you can be strong at the written bits of the exams. Okay. So I am the guy who is going to be responsible for providing you support for your FR exam. Okay. I've been teaching this exam for quite some time, and I have been part of Vertex since January 2023, and it has been a pleasure. I have achieved remarkable results. Like one of our student also scored 97%, and that was amazing. In the last attempt, a couple of our students scored 80 plus marks. Okay, so you could get the idea. Like our content is good and our team is hardworking. They would provide you quality support. It is you people now. You have to utilize all the support, all the help that we are providing. So if you're going to put in the required effort, I guarantee that you're going to pass this exam. Not only pass this exam, but do it with flying colors. Okay. So I want you to stick with me. I want you to follow the approach that I'm going to share with you, and you're going to do this exam in a really good way, in a way that you can understand a lot of concepts which are going to be critical in your careers, and you're going to benefit a lot for a very long time. Okay, because you see, this exam sits in between. Before this exam, there's another exam which is called FA, the financial accounting. You might know it as F3. After that, FR exam comes, and after that, the next level is the SBR. Okay, so the understanding that you will be developing through the FR exam will be critical for your good understanding of the concepts at SBR level. Okay, so let's begin. This was something about me. Okay, so what is the purpose of the webinar? Okay, so what are we going to learn when we are done with this webinar, this orientation session? Uh, I will try my best to make yourself familiar with this exam, and I will let you know what kind of support we are going to offer and how we are going to make sure that you do well in this exam. Okay, with your effort. Okay, because without your effort, we cannot do anything. Our effort is there, but your effort has to be there. Okay, so let's move on. I'm going to have this overview of this FR exam. The As I've already said, that the knowledge is going to be coming from your basic exam, which is financial accounting, and the stuff that you're going to learn in this exam is going to be critical in your careers, in your workplace, because I know a lot of you people are already working professionals. Very few are full-time students. So the stuff that you're going to learn here on daily basis, like, you will start feeling comfortable in your workplace, because all this is very practical. It is going to be applied straight away. You will feel that whatever you've studied you've studied under the video lectures or studied under the live sessions, that will make sense, and you will have better understanding of what is going on in the workplace. Okay, so this exam will give you practical skills. Okay, so the students will develop skills from very basic double entry to complicated group accounts. In between, you encounter a lot of accounting standards. The accounting standards gives you guidance how to deal with specific accounting issues. Okay, so if we move on, what is going to be the approach? The approach is that you have to, one thing, that you need to learn this stuff to do well in the exam. The second thing is that you should understand this stuff so that you can apply it in your working lives, in your workplace. Okay, and you will see that your work is going to make a lot of sense to you. Your bosses are going to like you, that you are making sense of everything. And considering the AI that is involved, a lot of number crunching is done by AI. But the real concepts, the conceptual approach, is required by the learned student, okay, or the scholar who understand things and who can apply them. So the employers are going to value those candidates that know the concepts, okay, that do not only know the number crunching, they know what are the underlying important concepts. Okay, so that we are going to study here. So I hope we have had enough discussion on the importance and what should be your approach. I do not want you to keep your approach limited to just passing the exam. You must try to understand, because when you're going to go through the content, we have tried our best to give you the real essence of every standard so that you have a deeper understanding. Okay. So here we go. The next thing that we have here is the next slide. Okay. The next one is the format of the exam. Like all the ACCA exam, it is going to be for 3 hours. It will have 100 marks. Those 100 marks are divided into three sections. Section A, Section B, and Section C. Section A will have 15 marks. Every question will have 2 marks. So 15 questions, 2 marks for every question. Total marks 30. Okay. So section A will have 30 marks. 15 questions, 30 marks. You see, this is MCQs. So those 15 questions can come from any area of the syllabus. So I will be coming back to my initial recommendation that you should not be looking for selective study. You have to have detailed understanding of every concept so that you could answer all the questions in section A. Okay. Then comes section B. Section B is also MCQ, but it is going to be divided into three case studies. You will be provided with a certain information. That piece of information is going to relate to the 5 questions. Then another piece of information, another 5 question, another piece of information, and another 5 questions. So again, it's going to be 15 questions, and those questions could be specific to a standard or could be different. Okay, like they could test in a different way. So the whole point is that you cannot think of just focusing on one area, that only a specific standard will be tested. No, they can test anything. So you have to have a good understanding of the concepts. You should not be worried that it is too difficult. I tell you, I can guarantee, I can vouch that with our lecture videos, you are going to understand everything thoroughly. We will be giving you practical examples. We will be doing the question practice for you. We have content covered in our question practice from all the aspects. We have covered it from BPP, we have covered it from Kaplan, we have covered it from ACCA Hub. Okay, so you will have a diverse range of question practice available for you. Okay, so I must say we are providing you a lot of content. Okay, so we're done with section A and section B. Section B is also going to be those 30 marks. And then comes the section C, the all important section C. Section C will have those 2 questions, those 20 markers. And so if section A is 30 marks, section B is 30 marks, that sums up to total 60 marks. And section C is 40 marks. Those 40 marks are divided into like one question is going to be dedicated to interpretation. The other question is dedicated to either the group accounts, the group financial statements, or the individual financial statements. Okay. So I would just like to talk some about the interpretation question, and then we will come to the group and the financial statements question. So the interpretation question is very tricky. Okay. You need to look at the question in specific, like every question will have pointers provided by the examiner, and you have to look at those specific pointers and you're going to relate to them during writing your answers. The juicy marks part is going to be your interpretation. The number crunching is not going to give you much of the marks. You will see that this question is going to be divided into certain parts. It could be 4, 16. Those 20 marks could be divided. So the 4 marker or the 5 marker is going to be number crunching. The heavier, juicy marks part is going to be focused on interpretation. And that interpretation does not have to be general. That interpretation has to be specific, specific to the points given in the exam. The examiner will give you the points and he will expect you to relate your answers, to relate your interpretation to those specific points. Okay. So while we do this question practice, we're going to do some more webinars, and I'm going to focus those webinars on interpretation questions or the group accounts question so that you get comfortable with them. Okay. Now come to the group accounts question, where you have some specific heavy workings which we're going to do with you. Some of the workings you must have understood at the basic FA level, the financial accounting, and those workings will be there done with the same way, but with greater challenge, mixed up with the accounting standards. So this is your group accounts and the financial statements, where you might have to deal with individual financial statements, and you will have to apply the accounting standards. Various accounting standards will be tested could be tested in this 20 marker. Okay. So for the section C, he has designated certain areas like interpretations or the group accounts or the individual financial statements. But the bigger chunk of the marks, which is 60 marks, are not allocated to any specific area. You might be tested with the consolidations in section A and B. You might be tested with various standards in section A and B. Okay. So the thing that I would like to emphasize is to do thorough study. Okay. Okay. Now, looking at the specific areas of the syllabus, like we will be looking at the conceptual and the regulatory framework. I mentioned in the start, what are the underlying concepts? What is the whole framework of making those standards? Okay, so those things need to be understood very well. As I said, that number crunching is not going to be a problem anymore. As we go in future, you will see that a lot of number crunching will be done by AI. Okay, so you people will have to have the understanding of what is the basis of all those number crunching going on. Okay, that AI cannot tell you, but you need to have the understanding, and the employers are going to need you for that specific area. So you need to have the understanding of what concepts are involved, what concepts are underlying for every accounting standard, and what is the regulatory framework within which the accounting standards are developed. Okay, then, as I said, the interpretation is a major area. One of the 20 marker is dedicated to that. Group accounts, and the bigger portion, the heaviest portion of your exam is your accounting standard. They will be tested in section A, section B, and section C. Okay. So accounting standard is going to be something that we need to have really strong grips on. Okay. So as we move to the next slide, I'm going to tell you which accounting standards are going to be tested and which standards are we going to attack specifically. And we have content available for all the standards, but there are key specific standards for which we have dedicated our live sessions as well. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what is going to happen in live sessions and what are going to be the specific skills that we're going to offer you. Okay, so as I just read and told you that bulk of the marks in this exam are going to be related to the accounting standards. They will be tested in every section of the exam. Okay, so now we are moving towards the exam techniques, the strategies. So how you're going to manage the time, how you're going to approach various questions, what are the common pitfalls that you're going to face. Okay, so here we go. The time management is critical. Okay, because you see, if you have attempted 100 marks exam, okay, then you're actually trying to get 50% out of those 100 marks. It becomes easy. But if some student has only attempted 60% of the exam, he is looking to get the 50% marks out of the 60%, which is hell of a job, which is very difficult. So time management is critical, because if you are able to attempt your whole paper, what happens is there's a very good chance that you're going to pass the exam. Okay, so we're going to talk about the time management. This is very important here, because you see, we can allocate how much of the time we can give to every mark. Okay, so this can be calculated. You can also do it like the total time that is available to you is 180 minutes. Okay, because you've got 3 hours, so 3 hours are equal to 180 minutes, and you have to cover the 100 marks. So if you take 180 and you divide it by 100, 1.8 minutes for every mark. Okay, so this is how you can plan your time. Like you can see, if you have section A, it has 30 marks, so you can say 30 marks multiplied by 1.8. You can get to know how much of the time can be allocated to section A, how much of the time can be allocated to section B, how much of the time can be allocated to each question of section C. So you must make a plan before you start attempting a specific section. Okay, this is important. As we move on, another very very important advice that I would like to give you. How are you going to approach the exam? The order has to be section A and section B first, because you see, section A and section B will have the biggest chunk of the marks, which is 60 marks. So you attempt those 60 marks, you try to get them quickly, you try to do as many correct questions in those section A and section B, and you get done with them. Then you are left with section C. Why I am suggesting to do section A and section B first? Because in section C style questions, you might get stuck in some working, okay? And that might take a lot of time. And you might not get enough time to do the section A and section B. A lot of students do this mistake of attempting section C first, which is wrong, okay? So you need to remember to follow this specific order in the exam, okay? So that you attempt the maximum chunk, the 60 marks, and then you try to get the remaining to get the pass mark by looking at the section C, okay? Obviously, we are going to be aiming for like the highest marks, but first of all, we have to secure the pass mark, okay? Moving on to the next thing, which is the reading the requirements, okay? This seems very obvious, very basic, but this is critical. Why I'm saying this is critical? Because you see, a lot of students get in a hurry. They just try to read everything quickly. This is a huge mistake. You must read the requirements carefully, and then look at the contents of the question. Okay, you need to have this thing in your head written very well, that first of all you need to read the requirements very carefully, very calmly. Don't get into that hurry situation. This is not only for exams, this is for your practice as well. When you're practicing, you've studied a concept and now you're looking at the question practice. You must look at the requirement, then you try to figure out what is the content in the question that is related to the requirement. You will see that you will be able to answer a lot of questions. Everything will make good sense. But students usually don't do that. They get into hurry, which is very wrong. Okay. So the time management, the order, and how to go about the requirements. Then we look at the section C. When you're looking at section C, you must plan your answer, how you're going to design the workings, what is the main requirement. You have to write the main requirement first. The workings should follow, and you should be making reference to the working, which is very important. Obviously, we're going to be sharing a lot of section C style questions with you. Okay. So you will have plenty of practice available. Managing time is critical. Making sure that you attempt 100 marks exam is absolutely important. Okay. The last thing, memorizing rules. You see, every standard has specific guidelines. Those guidelines have to be understood, and some of the things would be memorized. Now, I do not expect you to sit and start reading everything like 10 times, something like that. Nothing like that. You're going to memorize everything automatically by doing question practice. I do not expect you people that you just open the book and start learning the concepts. That's not the right approach. You understand the concept, you start doing the question practice, and you will see that the more questions you do, the more memorized rules will be there. Okay, you won't have to memorize them. The best way to memorize is to do question practice. Okay, as I've written here, this can be achieved through practice and application of accounting standards. Okay, and I told you that some of the questions might be more challenging, so you should be doing them one time, two time, three times, or even four times if you like. Okay, if you're not able to understand a concept, and you understand the concept but you do not feel the confidence and the grip on it, you could do it two times, three times, and so on. Okay, so this will automatically make you memorize everything, and I tell you, you're going to feel a lot of confidence when you follow this approach. Okay, so I'm moving on with the next one. Okay, so there are some other specific exam techniques which I'm going to tell you. which are very, very important. If you want to read anything, you must read the examiner report, because the examiner report is going to tell you what are the mistakes the students did, where they wasted time, where they use the inappropriate style of workings. Okay, so that is critical. That will help you understand the mistakes the other students did, and you should not be doing those mistakes. Okay. uh, Another thing which I am going to tell you from my own personal experience is the technical articles. The examiners write technical articles for specific important topics. You see, when I was doing ACCA, it was back then in 2006. So we had very few teachers, because the ACCA was not that popular at that time, and we also did not had a lot of resources. Okay. And we had just very small source of question practice. But whenever a technical article was published in the news, the Financial Accountant, the ACCA publication, so I would just read that article, and I tell you, back then when I was student, I couldn't comprehend a lot of things, but that article was written in such a good way that I could really understand the concept. And one more thing, that whenever an article is published, you must say that that topic will be tested in the exam for sure. Okay. So technical articles are key. Whatever technical articles are available on site, you should be reading them, you should be understanding them, and I tell you, you will know that they explain concepts in such an easy way that you will enjoy those articles. Okay, we have provided you all the technical articles for the FR exam on the Vertex site, on the FR page. Okay, so you will have everything. I must say that you're going to enjoy reading those articles. Even now, when I'm trying to understand a concept, and I search the internet, and when I see the ACCA article regarding a specific topic, I forget about all the links. I straight go to the ACCA technical articles and I read them, and I tell you, I get a very good understanding, because that explanation, that interpretation that they provide is specific. Okay, and that is very practical. The other people would just talk about a lot of things, because you see, a standard is very comprehensive. A standard, an accounting standard, is there to address many issues that are going to be faced. But as a student in practical life, when you're working, you will be required to deal with the specific issues, and those specific issues are very well addressed by the technical articles. Okay, then comes the exam format, the exam format for reports, memos, slides, which students often like overlook. They do not look at it. They should look at those things, and they will help you get your professional marks. I would call them extra marks. Okay, so if you want to get your extra marks, read those things, and try to get the best from your tutors, and the stuff that we're going to make available to you. Okay, this point which I've already talked about, that after practicing all questions, you will feel that there were some questions which you struggled with, so you need to do them again, twice, thrice. Okay, that is the best approach, and that approach is going to give you a lot of confidence, and that is going to improve your understanding. So moving on with the next thing. So we now come to the all important list of accounting standards and the topics. Okay. Recently, the accounting standard has been updated, that is IFRS 18. And this is related to the presentation and disclosures, and we have it updated. The latest videos are available. The question practice is also available for this specific accounting standard. Okay, like they have made certain changes, which you will be looking at the ACCA and on the Vertex site. Okay, there are lecture videos and there are question practice videos as well from the ACCA hub. So that is covered, like that is some new development. Then you see there is a list: IS 16, IS 20, IS 40. So all of those standards are related. Okay, and you could also include the IS 36 with that. Mainly, it is IAS 16, the property, plant, and equipment. It is related to your non current assets, and all the other standards are related to it. Like the government grant that you get for buying the non current assets, the investment property, like a property could be used in the business or could be kept separately for capital appreciation. So, that is also related to your non current assets. Then comes the impairment of the assets. Okay, so this area is critical. You will not see any financial accounting, financial reporting paper which does not have this combo, the IS 16, IS 20, IS 40, and this IAS 36, because the intangibles are also your non-current assets. Okay, so the tangibles are covered in IS 16, the intangibles are covered in IS 38, because you see this is such a valuable item that a business needs, and the so many of the accounting standards are related to them. Okay, so as we start our live session, we're also going to tag these as well. Okay, so you can understand that they are related. Okay, the question practice is also related, and we will understand it in this specific way. Okay, fine. So I hope I've given you enough insights into the this basic area, because this is there to address the issues related to your assets, the non-current assets. They're the most valuable item. So you see, while going through this discussion, we have discussed chunk of the topics. Okay, and then we are left with a very important area which might not look as threatening as the other standards, is the IFRS 15. I tell you, it is very tricky area. Okay, the it might seem it's a standard for revenue, but this is a specific standard that is beloved to your examiner. The examiner loves it. The examiner tests this specific standard in all the sections. They will be testing you in this section A, because I am telling you this based on my own experience, my own feedback that I receive from the student, that this standard will be tested in variety of ways. It has so many things. Okay, so we are going to focus on IFRS 15. We have specific videos for it, and we have a lot of question practice. And this is the standard which I think is in the live sessions as well. Okay, I'm going to share the plan of the live sessions with you as well. Okay, as we make progress. Then comes the you can say the usual suspects which are there always. The leases, a monstrous like accounting standard which is always tested, and since it's these things are slightly challenging, so the examiners love them. Okay, anything which is challenging for students, the examiners will love them and will be testing them in every exam. So leases will be there. Financial instruments, another important standard which they're going to test you. IAS 12, the deferred tax will be tested. And how can we forget the EPS? Okay, it will always be there. You will be finding it in the individual financial statements, or you might find it in the interpretation. So it will always be there. But the thing that I am going to tell you is that the kind of question practice that we are going to do with you, you're going to be feeling a lot like in control about all those standards. I tell you that when I start my sessions with the students, or whenever you look at the question practice available on site, I tell my students that this question or this standard has specific challenges, but I also guarantee them, like once we are done with all those questions, you will see that you are going to feel confident about these concepts, these major standards. Okay, so this is going to happen in this session as well. Like when I'm going to do the question practice with you, the live sessions with you, we're going to attack all these important standards, and I give you guarantee that you people are going to feel confident in those challenging, because I must say that when I was a student, I was really afraid. I passed my exam without understanding what was EPS, what was financial instrument. I was always afraid of them. Okay, but since I've started teaching, I had to know everything in great depth. So Now, when I teach my students, I teach them in a way that these things become very easy because we're going to focus at what the examiner is going to test, what sort of tricks the examiner has, and I will give all the tricks to my students how to deal with those challenging standards. Okay, because I tell you, when I did my ACCA, there were very few tutors available, there was very little content available. Okay, so we're going to attack everything in great detail. Okay, now we come to the interpretation in groups. We have discussed that the interpretation has specific pointers given, which should be given related in your answers. The consolidation has specific areas like the profit and loss, like the statement of financial position, where you have the goodwill, the NCI, the consolidated retained earnings. In the profit and loss, you have the intercompany sales, the unrealized profit, and all sorts of challenges you will be dealing with associates. So all of those things will be good fun. I must say that you should look at this paper as a challenge. And I tell you, if you take on this challenge with me, I will make sure that this challenge will become easy and fun. Okay. So we're going to attack everything. And when we're done with this thing, you will feel confident in all the aspects. Okay. Coming to the common pitfalls where the students get in trouble, where they lack the understanding and they do not apply the accounting standards properly. This is the area where the students get confused. Okay, again, that confusion can only be sorted out with question practice. If you do enough question practice, you will see that you will not be mixing up those accounting standards and you will be good at it. Okay, so this was just about the common pitfalls. Okay, so now the all important VLS support that we're going to provide you. I'm going to discuss all the aspects in detail. I'm going to explain why the specific areas of support are critical. And I'm also going to provide you a guideline how to utilize the resources that we have made available to you. Okay, like you see, uh, I would say the gold, the most precious part of the content that we have provided to you are the lecture videos, because the lecture videos are there to develop the understanding of every standard, of every concept, whether it is consolidations, whether it is the interpretation, whether it is any accounting standard. The core of your learning, the core of your preparation is going to be your lecture videos. So you should not miss lecture videos. You should look at the lecture videos. We have divided the videos into small sections. Every aspect is discussed into a video of 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something like that, so that students find it easy to understand. Okay, so the lecture videos are designed in a way that these are interactive, these are manageable. After every lecture video, there is question practice video to cover the content that we have covered in the lecture videos. Okay, so you understand the concept, you apply the concept, and then we have quizzes. The quizzes are critical to assess your performance. For quizzes, I vouch that any student who does well on our quizzes also does well in the ACC exam. Okay, because when we look at students, we see what is their score and how they have performed. Like we can say that if they have done well in the quizzes, they're expected to do well in the ACC. Okay, so the quizzes are critical to assess, because you see it makes perfect sense. You have studied a concept through lecture videos, you have done the question practice, you have actually watched the tutor doing the question practice for you, and then you do the quizzes. When you do the quizzes, you get assessed, you get to know what you have studied, and that will be assessed, and you will get the confidence. Okay, fine, I did well on the quiz, and that is done quickly. Okay, now what we have done with quizzes is that we have segregated the quizzes into theoretical and numerical, because you see, I told you that a lot of stuff will be tested in theory. Okay, this is the new approach. You will see that most of your exam is going to be theory based. Okay, obviously explaining the numericals, but in a theoretical way. So you need to be strong at your theory. Okay. So once we are done with these three important, every chapter will have its own lecture videos, its own question practice, and its own quizzes. Then the next question chapter comes. It has its own lecture videos, practice question, and quizzes. I strongly recommend that you should be attempting the quizzes for every specific chapter before moving on to the next one. You cannot skip them. You cannot think that, okay, fine, I'm done with the question practice. Now I can move on to the next chapter. Forget about quizzes. No, if you haven't done the quizzes, you haven't tested yourself. So you must test yourself by attempting the quizzes. Okay. Okay, then comes the very important progress test. Now, what is the importance of progress test? For example, I just discussed with you that there is a set of accounting standards which are related to those non-current assets. Okay, the IS 16, IS 20, IS 40, IS 36, IS 38. So you are expected to have a progress test based on those challenges, those accounting standards. Okay. And for progress test, what we've done is we are not going to show you the progress test. The progress test will be conducted live. I, as a tutor, will be there. I'm not going to teach anything in that specific session. I'm only going to be there. I'm only going to, and you people are all going to do your test. Okay. And when you're done with your test, then the session is going to be over. But we are only going to open the quizzes during the live session. Okay. A specific live session will be allocated for progress tests. Okay. So those progress tests are going to give you a lot of assurity, like whatever you have covered, and the test is done. And if you do well in the test, you are good to go. If you are not good at that test, then you can always go back and see which areas were there which made problem for you. Okay. And if anyone is looking for notes, every chapter has its own notes attached to the lecture videos. Okay. So you see, I told you in the start that from our side, the service is going to be, I would say, 200%. We have so much content on site available. And on top of that, we're going to provide live sessions. So you will have everything that you need to prepare for your exam. Okay, now it is up to you to make the best use of it. Okay, now we move on to the next one, which is the mocks. Okay, before going to the mocks, because the mocks are going to be at the end when you're done with that. But during this whole time period, we are going to have the live sessions, and during the live sessions, I'm going to show you the FR plan for the live sessions. You are going to be attacking all the important chapters, all the important standards, and you're going to understand them. After the live session is concluded, an assignment is related to it. At the end of the live session, the tutor is going to discuss the assignment with you, because right after the live session, you will have to deal with an assignment. The assignment is going to be related to the theoretical part. As I have emphasized it throughout the session, that the examiner has started testing students on theory. So for that specific reason, we have included the assignments which are critical for the success. And I'm going to do the live session. I'm going to discuss questions, and I'm going to discuss the assignment. And after the live session, we will make the assignment available to you. The assignments are not shown right now. After the live session, we will make them available to you. Okay. And one thing that you need to be clear about, that live sessions are not there to teach a topic. Live sessions are there only to do the question practice. So the main source of your understanding is going to be your lecture videos. Okay. So no one should think that they can skip the lecture videos. Okay. So moving on to the last thing, which is going to be the WhatsApp support, which the tutor, which I am going to provide you with. And it is very critical and it is very engaging. I honestly tell you that when the WhatsApp is quiet, I get a feeling that my students are not studying, because when they study, they will ask me questions. So when they ask me questions, I feel confident that my students are working and they're moving towards passing this exam. Okay, so you have to constantly work, you should not be thinking of waiting for the weekends. You should be using your everyday, like all your weekdays, your weekends to study. Okay. I'm not talking about a lot of hours, but every day you should do some, you should have some milestone, watching a specific section of videos, doing some questions. It's not going to take a lot of time, but you must study every day. Okay. It could be 20 minutes, an hour, depending on the on your work schedule. You see, a lot of students like myself, I could waste a lot of time scrolling through the internet, watching the videos. Okay, so you have to control yourself, because what you're aiming at is big. It is going to give you a lot of benefit for your future. Okay, since you see you have paid a lot of money, you are going to pay a lot of money to ACCA. That money is hard earned, so you have to make best use of it. Okay, so we are here to provide you the best service. We are always going to be there for you, but you also need to make sure that you make best use of your time. Don't waste it on watching videos or reels or social media. Do utilize it on your study, because this is going to have great results for you, great benefits in future. Okay, so and I also wanted, you see, I've written here reinforcement. So I'm going to do a topic in live session. I'm going to relate the assignment to the topic of the live session. And after the live session is done, what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw questions in WhatsApp group. And I would expect students to have a go at them. The questions won't be tested in, won't be done in the live session. They're going to be separate questions. I'm just going to throw those and give those questions to my students, like who can attempt this question. Okay, and obviously a lot of you are going to attempt them. Some of you might not be able to attempt them. They can learn from it. And I would be giving the feedback. Obviously, I'm going to appreciate the students who are going to do it well, and the students who couldn't do well, I'm going to explain the concept to them. Okay, so this is how we are going to have a very, very engaging environment. Okay, where we are going to be testing you through quizzes, through progress test, through live sessions, through assignments. So it is going to be a very busy thing. Okay, so you're only going to catch up the pace with us when you are working every day. Okay, again, I do not expect you to work 2 hours every day. I know you people are working. I'm also working. I also do not have a lot of time, but you can do 15 minutes sometime in the morning during the working hours. You are sitting, you come home, you dedicate some time. The time that you have wasted, you might have wasted otherwise in some other activities. Okay, so obviously you have to give time to your families, you have to give time to your work, but the study is important, so you have to find small brackets, some small pockets of time throughout the day. 15 minutes here or there, 10 minutes. You could do a question in a very short span of time. So it is important that you stay connected. And I tell you, if you follow this approach, you are actually going to score very high in this exam. Okay. Okay. Now moving on to the methodology. How you're going to use the content available. As I've already said, first, the primary thing is the lecture videos, the question practice videos, the quizzes to test yourself, and then the progress test as well. The support that we are going to provide you is going to be through the WhatsApp and through the live sessions. During the live session, you can ask me questions. You have this great privilege of your tutor available to you for all your questions. Okay, so it's you people who are going to be well prepared, well learned and studied, and then you can ask questions. Because if you haven't studied, you will say I have no questions, but if you have studied, you will have a lot of questions. Okay, so I will be there to respond to your questions. So we have discussed the methodology as well, so we are here with the question and answer session. I am available for your questions. If there are any questions, you can ask me. Yes, people. Any questions or everything is sorted out?
Hello, hello, Danish. Hello.
Yes, please speak up.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I have a question. It has to do with the new standard IFRS 18. How is it examinable in this current standard? Are we going to use it in single entry financial statements, preparing the financial statements,
You're talking about
or are
IFRS
we still
18.
using IS1? Yes, yes,
Yeah, you
IFRS 18.
see, IS1 is gone. There is no IS1. It is IFRS 18 now. All the guidelines how to make the financial statements, it is related to the presentation and disclosure, as I've discussed with you. Like this standard, it is related to the presentation and disclosure. So all the guidelines, how the financial statements are divided, how the various categories are included now in the, for example, profit and loss, you're going to follow that. You're going to make your financial statements according to that. The examiner is going to test you in the MCQ style questions as well. Okay, and I tell you we have question practice done for you, and the questions are available on the VLS site, and I think we will be attempting those questions during the live session as well, because BPP has got the new book and they will be giving it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, there's a very important question here, which I must answer that, your videos, quizzes enough without reading to go through other papers like Kaplan or BP? Yes. You should not be going through the reading. You should be watching the videos. The videos are enough. Okay. Yes. So you can. I'm giving you this guarantee that videos, the lecture videos, are good enough to understand the concept. They're also supported with examples. Okay, and then you will be doing the question practice, so you will have plenty of understanding, and you will be able to cover the areas at great speed. And then, okay, I've got this study planner. Yes, the Vertex provides you a specific study planner. You should be following that. It is aligned with the site, the videos on the site, and yes, I will be providing with you with the kits. I think you're new to the group. I've already provided them. I will provide them again for all the new students. Okay, so the kits will be provided to you in the group. Yes. So I'm back to the question and answer session. Yes. Any more questions, please? Okay. No, there are no
Hi,
marks
hi.
for working. Okay, there's a question like in section
Uh,
A and B, you just have to tick the right option. You do not have to show any workings. Okay, the workings have to be shown in section C. Okay, yes, it is doable. Yes, if you can manage 2 to 3 hours daily, it is manageable. I can assure you that this is possible. Okay, no problem with that. Anyone who can allocate more time, they can study both. Like there is this question of FR and FM, so this is good. I tell you, when I used to study for ACC, I was a full-time student and I used to appear for 4 exams in an attempt. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, the IFRS 18, you're talking about IFRS 18 on the 18 will be added to. I do not understand your question. I will be confirming on the. Okay, fine, 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 fine. That's all right. You have to. If anyone is not on the group, they can write. I'm just writing the email here. Office @ VLS dash online vls-online.com. If anyone is not on the group, they can write an email to office@vls-online.com, and you will be entering the group, okay, on the WhatsApp group. Okay, yeah, that's the next question. So yes, students, write down this email. If you want to be part of the group, you need to write that email. Okay, what else is there? Okay, let me just, I think I missed a question here. Section C, do we have to? Yes, obviously. Section C will be done on the Excel sheet. You need to do that. Okay. And yes, I have already discussed that section C is going to be guaranteed, like the two topics. One of the topic is going to be the on interpretation. The other topic could be the group accounts or the individual financial statements. There is a greater chance that it will be tested on group accounts. But since you have got a good, thorough understanding of the accounting standards, you could answer the question which is other than groups. That's the guarantee.
Hello, sir. Sorry, I have a question, please.
Yes, please.
So, for someone who doesn't have a solid background for accounting, do you think it's a good idea to jump straight to the questions, or maybe go to YouTube, get a refresher or
No, no,
something?
no. No YouTube. I told you that we are providing you the lecture videos. Through the lecture videos, you are going to understand the concept, the underlying concept, the real essence of every concept, every standard, every treatment, every accounting entry. You will have a thorough understanding of every aspect through the lecture videos. Okay. So you should not be wasting your time on YouTube, because on YouTube you might find a good resource or you might not find, because the resources are scattered. No one shares their content completely on YouTube, okay? And you cannot trust anything. So the content that we have on VLS is authentic, it is updated. So you should be focusing on the VLS lecture videos. Why would you go elsewhere when you have the resource? You have paid for it.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I'm just asking about someone who doesn't have a solid background.
Yeah.
Just, like,
Listen, listen,
uh,
listen. Listen,
yeah.
listen, listen. If someone is lacking any of the basic concepts, I tell you that those concepts are explained in the on the VLS site. Let me just show you the site where you can see that for the students who are coming up and they do not have the solid background, they can go through the basic concepts. We have also provided the basic concept on site. I'm just about to share the VLS page for the FR exam, so you can have the idea, and it will also give me the opportunity to share with you how the site works, how you're going to use it, how we're going to give you all the resources. Okay, so let's see. So I hope you can see the page now. This is the VLS page, and you can see that we have this. First of all, there are those demo lectures, and then there are these FR resources. And you see here we have the revision topics from the initial paper, the F3. It is the very basic, very basic level, the most basic level. And whatever are the important concepts that we expect you to have are discussed here. Okay. So before entering to the first section, we have discussed the basic topics of F3. Okay. So then the concept, the first one comes here. You have this, you know, the first topic, the conceptual and the regulatory framework. You have the lecture videos. You also have the notes. You have the quizzes. Then the all important IFRS 18. You see, we have explained the whole concept. We have the practice question videos. These are from the ACCA, the ACCA quizzes and the ACCA practice material. Then comes the IFRS 15, and obviously you need to see that we have this IFRS 15, the lecture videos, the question practice videos, the quizzes. The notes are also there for every topic. Complete notes are available. We then have the investment property and so on. Like again, the lecture videos, the question practice videos, the notes, the quizzes. So it's a complete package. Everything is available. Okay. And as we move on, then, whatever we discussed during the live session will be available at the bottom. I'm just scrolling down to show you where you expect to find those live session videos. Okay. So still we are covering the syllabus. So you see the technical articles that I was talking about, and then you will have all the live session videos, which will be shown to you. Okay. So we will be having we also have the past papers available and the live session videos, as we haven't covered any live session currently in this part. So we will be covering that and we're going to make it available to you. Okay. So it was a good due to your discussion, I got this chance to show you the VLS page for the FR exam. Okay. So see, everything is organized and structured for you. It's now you who has to use it properly and to get the best out of it.
Thank you very much, sir. It's very clear and very understandable.
That's great. That's
So
great.
I have one more question if you don't mind. You
Yes.
said there is I think there is a live session on the 20th, right, for this month.
Yes.
And you said all the live session covering all the revision questions. So are you expecting from us to have a certain knowledge by the 20 to assess
Exactly.
on the live?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because this gives me the opportunity to share with you the plan for the live session. Although the plan for the live session is already discussed or already shared in the group, but this gives me the opportunity to share it with you right now, so that you also get to know what we are discussing here. So here you see, this is the plan for the live sessions. I hope you people can see it. This is we're going to start on the 20th, and we have these the topics, and we are going to be covering the ACC Hub quizzes and the question practice. First of all, we're going to attack the IFRS 15, then IS 20 and 40, IS 36 and 38, IS 12, IFRS 19, IFRS 16, IS 33, consolidation, interpretation, and statement of cash flows. So these are all the important topics which we are going to discuss. And the assignments are also going to be related to them. Once we are done with the topic, then we are straight going to be dealing with the relevant assignment. Okay. So I hope this gives you a good understanding how everything is going to be related. The WhatsApp question engagement will also be related to this IFRS 15. So what I expect is that you should be knowing IFRS 15. You must have watched the lecture videos so that you could benefit from the live session. Okay, so if we just go through to the site, the first topic on the site is also the IFRS 15, the main one. So you will be looking at this one, and you have this 1 week to go through these basic topics, and then you look at the IFRS 15, so that you could get the most out of your this live session, the first one. Okay. So you have the plan. This plan is also shared with you in the group. I think the new students do not have it, so I'm going to share it again, and I'm also going to share the BPP revision kits with you as well. Okay. Well, you see, we understand that most of you are working, so I understand that you also cannot give a lot of time, like a full-time student would be giving 3 to 4 hours a day. But you people can, if you could cover the video lectures, as I told you, like you should be working every day. You should be spending like whatever time you have. Like usually students would study on weekends, but again weekends are also troublesome because you have to do a lot of other things. So you need to find time every day, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. If you could stretch it to an hour, like giving the small sections, like a 20-minute or a 15-minute, like, because you see the videos are also broken like that. So if you could just make a target and I'm going to cover this specific video like a 29-minute video, 13 minutes, 17 minutes, 15 minutes. So you can align the small pockets that you find during the day, and you can say, okay, I can cover this 6 minute. Okay, I can cover this 14 minute. Okay, I can cover this question practice, which is only 20 minutes, 19 minutes and few seconds. Or, I could cover those questions and things like that. So you see, you can make best use of this resource and your time. Okay. So every chapter will have these videos covered in these short chunks where you can have really good understanding. Okay. So I hope I was able to answer your question. Let me just go back and look at the messages. Yes, you can, but I would recommend that you should also be looking at IFRS 18. It's a very small standard, and it will be covered very quickly. But it's better that you have a look at it. Yes, students, do we have more questions?
Sorry, sir, I'd like to ask. When it comes to the topics that you have actually shared with the group, does it mean that, let's say I want to write the exam for, well, I'm writing the exam for March. Does it actually mean that I have to concentrate on the topics that you've already highlighted? Or should I finish everything on the platform?
Yes, it is important that you finish everything on the platform, because you see the live sessions are only there for important, very challenging topics. But this does not mean that those topics are not important or those topics will not be tested. Okay, so you need to make sure that you cover all the aspects, all the things that are covered on the site. Okay, but you see, the live sessions are not your main learning. Your learning comes from your video lectures. The live sessions are only an additional support. You should not be counting on the live session. You can benefit from them, but I must emphasize that the main source of understanding is going to be the lecture videos.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, do we have more questions?
Hi.
Yes.
Yeah, can you answer the question that Mr. Shaw asked? Section A and Section B in the exam that has some calculations. Do they provide an Excel to do the
Yes,
workings?
yes, they will be providing you appropriate medium for doing your working for section A and section B. However, you're not expected to show the workings. You will be provided material to do your workings, to do your calculations. That's not a problem. Okay.
Yeah, what kind of materials? Is it a calculator or Excel?
Yeah, the calculator is also available alongside, and you have Excel, and you might have other material available if you prefer some paper. Okay, on the in the exam hall. Okay, so that is not an issue, because you see the students are expected to do a lot of calculations, so that is not going to be a problem. You will be made available with the required material.
Okay, thank
You
you.
can use it. Yes. Okay, we've got some more question. Yes, you see, as I have shown you the site, there is nothing much before the topic for the first live session. It's only a very small area. Okay, like the IFRS 18. That's it. And other than that, jump straight to your the IFRS 15. Okay, so but I strongly recommend that you follow the order of the video lectures, because the video lectures are more important than the live session, because The live session are going to be focusing on the question practice. If you lack the understanding, you will not be able to benefit from the lecture videos, like the live sessions, because the live sessions are only practice. The lecture videos gives you the understanding. So if you have the good understanding, then the live session is going to be beneficial. Okay. Okay, I've got another question for versus remote exam. Well, you see, the remote exam is not going to be available where you have the exam hall. Okay. In any area where you have the exam hall, the ACCA is not going to provide you with the remote exam. Okay, this is a recent development. The remote exam facility will only be available where you do not have the exam hall in your vicinity.
Hi, Professor.
Yes.
Just for clarity on that question. So my assumption is that if you are taking the exam remotely, right? I just wanted to find out what type of material are permitted, or are you permitted when you're taking the exam remotely versus in the hall? Because in the hall, they can, of course, inform you to say you need a calculator on your desk, you need X and Y. But when you're taking it remotely, are there any specific guidelines that you can provide us to prepare for that?
Yes.
Or how does it work?
Yes, in the remote exam, you see you have the calculator available, you have the means to do your calculations on Excel and other media. And so this is as I must say that this is not an issue, because this is something which is assumed that the students have to do the calculations. So they are allowed enough or appropriate means to do the calculations. Okay, so that you should not be worried about this thing. Okay. Okay, I just missed a question here. Like the time duration of the live session, it is 1 hour and 30 minutes maximum. Okay, we might conclude it in 1 hour and 20 minutes, but this time, since we are going to have the discussion of the assignments as well, so it is going to be like a minimum 1 hour 30 minutes. The demo lectures are only there. The demo lectures are actually part of the material, which is from the site. Like we have just shared the few of the demo lectures so that students could benefit. Like the ones who visit the site, we just want them to see what is the content, the quality of the content. It is just demo lectures. So the students who have actually bought the whole course, they will have all the access. So for them, demo lectures are not important. Okay. Yeah, demo lectures are good for the people who haven't bought it. The people who have bought the course, they can start jump to the first topic. And if you're good at your basic level, the financial accounting, you should not be looking at the practice material related to F3 if you're strong at those areas. So you can straight away come to the main topics of the financial reporting exam. Yes, people. Do we have more questions? Okay. So I believe we have enough questions, and I hope you people are comfortable with this orientation session. Okay, I believe I just got one. Yeah, that's good. The last message is all good. That's great. So that is all from my side. Thank you for attending the orientation session. I hope it was useful. I hope I was able to achieve the objective. My objective was to make you people familiar with this exam. Okay, that's great. My pleasure that it was useful for you people. So, students, that is all from my side. You're welcome. All of you are welcome. And I want you people to stay engaged with me throughout this study so that you could benefit from this. And this will allow us to provide you the best services. Okay. So students, take good care and see you in the first live session on the coming Saturday. In the meantime, I will be available to you people on WhatsApp. You can do your question practice, you can look at the concepts, and whenever you feel stuck, you can ask your questions on the WhatsApp. Okay. So that is all from my side. Take good care, everyone, and I wish you, a lot of success in your studies. Take good care. Bye bye from my side.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take good care. Bye bye.
Bye.